Hello, I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Selma Usba. I'm a student in Group 3. I would like really to thank our professor, Saudi, for giving us this opportunity to do our presentations at home, so it's a plus for us, especially in these critical situations with the coronavirus that I'm going to talk about it too, because it is one of the most common causes that cause this topic that I'm going to talk about it, which is depression. So the planning, as you can see here, that I'm going to first talk about its definition, its types, its symptoms, its causes, and then its treatment at the end. Everyone can define this dangerous mental disease in his or her own. So depression, as you all know, is a common but a serious and dangerous mood disorder that affects people at a certain age and requires professional help once it interferes with the daily life. Everyone goes through periods of deep sadness, deep grief, but these feelings fade away within days or weeks, depending on their circumstances. But once this profound sadness lasts more than 1 month and starts to affect your ability to function, your ability to work, it may be a sign of depression. There are many types of depression, but I'm going to mention 3 main of it. The first one is called major depressive disorder. As you see in the picture above, it is the most serious type of depression. It goes also by other names like unipolar disorder, clinical disorder, and it makes you feel like empty, makes you feel makes you have these thoughts of suicide, makes you feel just death. The second type of depression is bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder, it is serious type 2, and people who suffer from this type go through unusual mood changes. For example, from very happy and hopeful to very sad and unhopeful. The up feeling in this type is called mania, and the down feeling is called depression. The reasons and causes of this type is usually unclear. The third type of depression is called dysthymia or dysthymic disorder. This type lasts at least 2 years, and it is characterized by mild, moderate, rather than severe. People who suffer from this type do not know when exactly they got depressed. There are many symptoms of depression. Depression is marked by feeling blue or down, a diminished interest in things that were previously enjoyed, a lack of concentrating and focusing, excessive sleeping or insomnia, a lack change of appetite. It's like to feel empty. I'm not talking about any other mental disease that can simply and easily get treated. This is a serious and dangerous mental illness that really requires professional help. And people expect this person with a mental illness to just walk around with no makeup on, with dirty clothes, looking like they are completely crazy, but the truth is extremely the opposite. And people don't get that this person with a mental illness would never, ever hit you with the truth about what he is going through or what he is suffering from, because he's afraid of the other's judgment, so it's quite easier to hide it. And what we are going through and what we have is something deep inside us that some people would rather die than talk about it. It's not like we can just simply quit and choose to not talk about it. It's something that is out of our control. Many things can naturally cause depression. It can be genetic, meaning that the patient has a family history of depression. It can also be a personal trauma or some sources of stress such as failed relationship, a loss of job, a loss of a loved person may also cause depression. Being around a person that is extremely depressed may affect your ability to function and make you depressed. Depression sometimes can be caused by physical problems. It can be an illness, it can be another health problem which causes you depression. And today, what we are going through, this critical situation, many people would lose their jobs, would lose their families, would lose their enjoyable activities, seeing everyday people die because of this deadly virus, which is coronavirus. And maybe they got anxious, they got stressed, and then they got depressed. But the most important thing that caused depression for me is another mental illness, which is social anxiety disorder. Maybe the way we think too much, the way we do care too much about how people would think of us and see us outside. Especially that our culture and our society today is obsessively focusing on unrealistic positive expectations on physical beauty, like be happier, be smarter, be richer, be more productive, be more attractive, like be perfect, which makes us to believe in perfection that it doesn't even exist. But while you stop and you think of it in another way, you are gonna figure out that all these positive, happy advices that we hear all the time from social media pages or from TV are just fixating and focusing on what's superior, on what's positive, on what's better, on what we lack. You may find yourself standing in front of the mirror hours and hours repeating this affirmations that you are beautiful, you are cute, you are attractive, because you know already that you are not. So this fixation on what's superior, on what's positive, only serves to remind us on what we lack, on what we should have been but we failed to be. Also this culture that about hey look, my life is cooler than yours, social media pages that we see every day, has brought a whole generation that thinks having these negative experiences like anxiety, depression, grief, sadness is totally not okay. And this generation unfortunately believes in perfection. And it's impossible to not feel depressed or to not feel that there is something wrong with you while you are bombarded with thousands and thousands of images of people having such a great time in social media pages, considering them as a truth, while you are stuck at your bed with your painful thoughts, with your real you, thinking that there is something wrong with you. So here you start losing your self-confidence, you start like trying to be a copy of the others just to look beautiful and acceptable person in the eyes of the others and in society, which makes you feel completely depressed at the end. The good news is that depression and any other mental disorders can be treated with the good treatments and especially the good support from family, from friends. Almost people would make full recovery. The sooner you are treated, the sooner you can get back to your normal life. And your recommended treatment will be based on whether you have mild, moderate, or severe depression. And now I'm gonna make this clear. Many people consider depression is simply sadness. Depression and sadness can feel alike sometimes. But while it's easier to talk about what's making us sad, depression can be unexplainable and just leaves us silent. So, depression is an overwhelming numbness that requires really professional help. So if someone comes to you and opens to you his heart about his depression, please don't be like, oh, I have been sad too. Just listen and seek help.